County Commission. January 5th, 2018.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. John?
Here.
Dale?
Here.
Mark is not here. Sean?
Here.
Troy's here. Okay, approval agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Can we add the county properties to the agenda?
For what?
The city took them,
Okay.
so
Add tax forfeited property.
What is it?
All of those two parcels that were forfeited for taxes, the city is going to take them. It's that little strip of land by Zahn's over there, and then where they tore that little brick building down. Because that third parcel was purchased.
Yep.
So, okay. Anything else?
Move to approve the amended agenda.
Been moved by Sean to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to the meeting minutes. Start with the December 22nd minutes.
Over to Ron.
Any additions or corrections to the minutes from December 22nd?
Move to approve on December 22nd minutes, dispense with the reading.
It's been moved by Sean to approve the minutes from the December 22nd meeting and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, the special meeting from the December 28th.
Move to approve the December 28th minutes and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to approve the December 28th minutes and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
This is
We need to have
where,
election officers, what?
yeah, this is where I take over, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Not sure who was in charge.
No.
Seems like it.
So I open the floor for nominations for chairman.
I'll nominate Troy also.
Okay. There's been a nomination for.
Second.
Okay. Any others?
I'd move the nomination cease.
There's a motion that nomination cease. Is there a second?
Second.
Second to the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Oh good, now my part's over. Said oh good, my part's over.
Yep.
Probably should have been nomination cease and cast a unanimous ballot.
Oh,
Should have been the motion, but unless somebody else wants to do this, I mean, not in love with it.
No,
no.
you're good.
Vice chairman. Open the floor to nominations for vice chairman.
And nominate Mark Aaron as the vice chairman.
I'll second that.
Any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations?
We'll move nomination cease, we cast a unanimous ballot.
Been moved by Sean to cease nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Mark Aaron for vice chairman. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Board appointments, do you guys want to just stay the same again?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just do that.
So moved.
And seconded.
Been moved by John, seconded by Sean to keep the board appointments the same as they were in 2017. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, bills. Bills and resolution.
There are a few bills that are dues in your stuff.
Yeah, what's the COMM one?
MOCIC.
Oh, I saw it last night when I was
MOCI.
North Dakota County COMM Association.
Commissioners Association.
$1,600?
We've never been a member
Yeah,
of
you
that
guys
for
can
years.
remember. Let's make sure that's what that is, though, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think we should make a rule if we don't know what the association is, we don't even have to consider it being a member.
Well, I was just reading through these last night.
That's just another attempt.
Yeah.
We haven't funded that in years.
Commissioners Association.
Yeah, put that aside.
Okay. I have GovernSoft is one. The MOCIC.
Who's that?
That's for the the sheriff's department.
That's the training stuff or something, isn't it?
And that comes out of his, was that in his budget?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it was,
It's $100. Out of sheriff's.
Mid States Organized Crime Information Center.
What's this general dues?
well, which are the ones now?
It's GovernSoft, MOCIC, North Dakota County Commissioners Association, the NDACO, and the NACO.
The County Commissioners Association was a standalone item. The 5440 is made up of what?
That one for the NDACO. NDACO. This. It's just for the county.
Oh, this is the county dues.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've
You-
been paying that one.
You guys have been paying that one. You have not been paying the NACO.
Correct.
You have not been paying the County Commissioners Association.
Oh, the NACO, that can
That's
go
the
away.
national.
Yep.
Right. So pull that one out. too.
Okay.
Where we get it,
Well,
we kind of kept it in the beginning for some kind of a resource, but
right, but the county officials end up going to training and stuff out there. I don't know if you can participate if you're not a member. Maybe you can if you just pay more for each training session. I don't know that. I didn't make any phone calls.
What's the dollar value of the National Association of Counties?
5,400. Online.
What's the Baca Garden shell?
That's the furnace repair. Valley City.
Oh,
Propane, what furnace wasn't working for a few days. Nope, not propane.
I knew I'd heard of it before, but I couldn't remember what they did.
The North Dakota Association of Counties ones have any detail on it? Or is it just
No, it's
Just association. Must be in there. Oh, you put it back in here.
yeah,
didn't you?
it's right there.
is there
Just an invoice.
It's
any
just-
way we can figure out what we're getting for that?
Do you want me to?
I think so.
Okay.
You want to sit on it?
I think so.
Okay. Anything else in the bills you guys have any questions on?
So which bills, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dues?
Mm-hmm. Govern soft. I didn't know if you wanted that as a due.
No, that
That's
has
software,
to
isn't it?
Yeah.
License, software license.
Yeah, that's not really dues.
stay.
Yeah.
So there's 4 of them. Have we singled them out here?
Yeah, the only one you guys haven't pulled is that MOCIC.
Right. Where's that at?
That's halfway down the first, second.
There we go.
Yeah, that one's already stayed.
That's for the Mid-State Organized Crime Information Center.
We probably get something for that, right?
I don't know.
Or what?
Don't know.
At least as much as we do from the Garrison Conservancy.
What's TJ's?
Heartburn doesn't count for getting
That's,
something.
Huh?
Heartburn doesn't
server-
count as getting something.
Which-
rental space, TJ's? That's server rent? Okay,
In Fargo.
yep.
NDACO.
We're paying the workers' comp one this time, and then that'll, once we get the breakdown of actual what's goes to who or whatever, then we'll do a correction into the general fund and take it out of those other budgets.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, if we pulled all 4 of those? Or not?
3. Did you want this one pulled?
Well, So it's in his dues, the $800 dues budget, is that what it's in?
Mhm.
That's what it's coming out of? Yeah.
Leave it then.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the resolution on the last page there, authorizing the auditor to pay some of these recurring bills, postage, telephone,
Yeah.
envelopes for light, water, telephone, license fees, and post office box rent.
So I'll make a motion, we accept the bills as presented, excluding the 3 dues. North Dakota Association of Counties, North Dakota County Commissioners Association, and the NACO.
It's been moved by John to approve the bills with the exception of the North Dakota County Commissioners Association, North Dakota Association of Counties, county dues, and the National Association of Counties. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Oh, was it, did you wrap that resolution into your motion?
I did not.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to the vote. John,
Aye.
Dale,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. We better do another
Mhm.
motion for that resolution.
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the resolution for bills for 2018.
Been moved by Sean that we adopt the 2018 resolution for bills. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John,
Aye.
Dale,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Monthly office reports.
Wayne, a couple of these bills, they are actually from the beginning of last year on your $40 to Dallas Schmidt and Doug, what is it, Tish?
Uncollected?
Yeah, was it for the whole year? The first column says balance due 12/1/2017. Oh, 12, okay. They've been on there a long time, haven't they?
I'm sure the, 12-1. Doug Shue. Doug Shue lived on that Carl Larson farm
South of Bedford.
south of Binford.
Oh.
And we went out and plowed snow. They claimed they didn't order it.
But
And
thanks.
They were completely blocked in, this deep. They've been plowing with a pickup.
But thanks
Wow.
for your service.
Yeah. And we tried
Did you
to
go?
send
Did you go
letters
put the snow back on the road then?
this year. Yeah, they don't live there anymore. Yeah. So I think we could write that off, and probably Dallas Schmidt too, and just. if we could just-
Bedell still lives out there, doesn't he?
Dallas, yes.
He lives on his
He
dad's
went
farm.
to his dad's place, I think.
Neil moved to Valley City. Yeah, I think he might as well write that $80 off, but you're not going to get it. Where'd they go? Who knows?
Well, they built another house or fixed up a house east of Ralph's.
No, that's fine. Just turn them both over to the state's attorney to small claims court.
I think the state's attorney talked to him, and they said, well, they never ordered it. So don't have any proof.
Right. Right.
We're just
Do we need a motion?
They don't have to keep doing bookkeeping.
Right.
Throw in their property taxes.
They don't have
Yeah.
property.
Oh,
I don't know about Schmidt.
That Carl Larson farm is owned by, that was Billy Rickford's wife's dad. They still own that.
Yep. I don't know if Dallas owns that farm out there, or Neil does it.
No. Yeah, you don't own nothing.
I don't think we can arbitrarily make the decision to decide who has to pay and who doesn't. I think it has to go through a process. And the process is the small claims court. And if it wasn't ordered, it wasn't ordered, but someone else other than us has to make that decision because the work was done. We have to treat everybody the same.
How much do you want to spend to do
That you have to treat everybody the same. Either you write them all off or you write none of them off, but you can't pick and choose based on, we're not a court. We're an administrative branch.
So you can give them to the state's attorney.
Yeah, give him the state's attorney, let him make the decision. If we get playing that game, long slippery
everybody's
road.
gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, and then it's our decision, and it isn't our decision. Our decision is to pay bills. If a bill's been incurred, it has to go through the system.
Years ago, we kept sending letters, state's attorney sent letters or whatever, but they never did pay. So then they just decided to drop it because they didn't have anything to pay out of anyways.
But I mean, that's what a small claims court is about. Let a judge make that decision.
Any other questions on the monthly office reports?
Did you look at page 22? That's kind of interesting.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Connie will be coming to talk about that.
Oh, the Bank of the West checking account must be closed.
Yeah. No, I was looking at the tax collections that in 2017,
Right.
the collections were up over the last
4%.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the last 5 years.
$90 people pay through February. 90% of people. Of course, 90% of the dollars are collected.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
5% discount's pretty good.
For some ways.
Nowadays.
Wait till next year.
100%.
No, it'll be more. Your taxes will be more.
I'm going to accept the monthly office reports.
Been moved by Sean that we accept the monthly office reports. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale.
Did you see the weed officer?
Yep.
We had it last meeting.
Okay.
Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Wayne?
Yep, we have today with us Jake Logering from KLJ, and he's going to talk about the bridge project. And we have Eric Sarr, Troy Mailer, and Derek Aaronson.
Arizona.
From RDO, they're going to talk about water graders. So we'll have Jake talk about the bridge first.
Okay. So the Bell Bridge project is a federally funded project, if you guys know. And with that, the project is eligible to use federal funds for the construction engineering. So basically they'll cover 80% of the construction engineering, just like they're covering the construction costs. It's kind of a unique type of project is in the fact that you can get federal aid for the engineering. Typically they never cover any engineering. So in order to get the funds, the county would have to send out an RFP, a request for proposals, and then go through the interview process to choose an engineer to do the construction engineering. And the DOT requires some kind of submittal at the end showing why you chose who you chose. At this time, I just need to let DOT know if you guys want to use those funds. It's a question on every one of these projects that the county has to decide.
Wasn't that, then we already made that decision, didn't we?
Your decision was to use federal funds on the construction cost. This is for construction engineering. So we have the funds in place to build the project, the actual construction of it.
Okay.
But what they're asking is if you want to also use federal funds for the construction engineering.
So it's not a very big project, really, is it?
No, I think, I would say construction engineering is gonna be around the same amount as the design contract, about 50,000. There's a lot more paperwork that the, federal and state require than on these house built projects that we've been doing. But 50,000 is about what it's been taking on projects like this.
It's gonna cost 50,000 to design it and 50,000 for the construction engineering?
Yeah. Yep.
That's just about unbelievable.
So we can use the Senate and House bill money as our part of the match, correct?
Right.
That is correct.
Yeah. So there really is no downside to using the federal money, is there?
No,
You
most
just have to,
counties do.
we just have to go out for an RFP.
Right.
Yep, that's the only difference. Yep.
That's why I asked the question, because I suppose that'll cost a little bit or whatever to have somebody do that. But if it's $50,000 deal, then we probably should do it.
The request for proposals, can that be rolled into the bid or not? It'd have to be separate
The bid for.
for the project itself. We're just requesting the engineering proposals.
Yes, yeah. It's separate than bidding the actual project.
That still doesn't make any difference. We can still use the House and Senate bill money to
Yep.
pay our 20%, which is
20%.
Right.
It's $40,000.
Right.
But if we, so the engineering services, no matter which way we do it, are gonna cost the $50,000 approximately.
Yeah, I don't have an exact number, but
So it doesn't make any difference whether it's rolled into the final bid or in this, it doesn't make any difference. Really.
yeah, you won't. I mean, are you saying you could get a cheaper cost? Or?
Right. Does this
It would be
add
separate.
an expense to it, the RFP, to the overall cost of the project?
No, it would just be the county would have to put it together. So it would be the cost of your own people doing it and your guys' time running the interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
As far as outside costs, it wouldn't add anything.
Okay. So there are no cons to doing this. It's all positive.
Yep.
Well, it's
And
just,
that's what most counties. I mean, it's actually free money because it's not.
there's no such thing.
Well,
Well, that ain't-
it's free money in the scheme of the whole project.
Yeah.
I mean,
You only get to say that
yeah.
3 times, and you gotta be throwing out, you know.
You probably say it again.
I'm quite sure there's someone else standing behind him to walk in the doorway.
So we probably better do that.
Yeah.
So what's that do to the timeline, Jake?
It's something that should probably be started soon because it takes a while. I mean, you have to advertise for I think 3 weeks in the paper for just proposals. Once you get to proposals, then you choose typically 3 to 4 engineering firms that come in and basically you interview and you have to ask them questions.
It's much like we did when we went through that process 4 years ago.
Yes, but we didn't do the interviews at that time. However, this one, from what I understand, is DOT is going to require you guys to submit a paper showing the questions you've asked the consultants and then why you chose who you chose.
So it's not locked into low price, so.
Prices doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just
Because you're not bidding the engineering of this specific project.
You're just going through a process.
You're just
I know.
throwing out mud on the wall and seeing what it sticks to.
And the engineering gets paid off the percentage of the total project, so it's in the engineer's best interest to make the project as high price as possible.
So it goes back to getting proposals from different engineering companies and seeing who you feel comfortable with.
Yep.
Is basically, it's a subjective process.
But in order to use the federal money, we have to do that.
Right, yep.
I move that we instruct KLJ to move forward with the process.
KLJ's not gonna go do the RFP.
They can't give us the groundwork for that
DOT told me specifically consultants cannot
because
put
you're
it together.
okay.
Because you're gonna be putting in a proposal to be
Yep.
the county's engineer on this project,
So
so
it would be a conflict.
this has to be the auditor that does this,
Or the road superintendent.
or whatever.
Or the
I'm
state's attorney.
Somebody needs to advertise, somebody needs to advertise in the surrounding, in the
But there
paper.
has to be guidelines to how the RFP, how it's laid out.
I can't remember how we did that last time, but there must be.
Well, yeah, how was it done? Wayne?
Yeah, well, you kind of had a hearing or whatever. I mean, both companies were represented.
Yep,
But there was
I
some
think it was
guidelines before.
advertised. It was advertised in the paper, local paper, I think. And then the 2 firms that had put in their paper, they handed in a
Pamphlet or.
pamphlet that showed their resumes, kind of more or less.
Can we dig up the proposal that we did last time, Samantha?
Yep.
Probably do that.
It's probably what, 3 years ago?
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Probably the first year. Probably
Must have been when we did
2014, I think.
Chip seal maybe when we did the federal, I think. Something.
And this one will have to get posted, well, it'd have to be sent to DOT and they post it on their website, so then basically all the consultants in the country see it.
We'll find it.
So a little different than last time, we just did it in the paper, but this one requires to be advertised online as well.
What year
But
did you guys
DOT will be
think?
really helpful.
Probably 14.
in what they require. They do
Okay.
this all
I
the
should be able
time.
to talk to
They would-
someone
I would
at
talk to them.
DOT.
So Wayne, talk to the DOT and get some, I mean, don't recreate the wheel, this has been done
No,
before.
not over and over and over.
Okay, so motion by John,
To have Wayne start forward with the process of getting the bridge funded with federal money via the RFP
design.
request. Yep.
in engineering. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Or any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So did,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Jake, you finish.
Another thing on that bridge, I think Jamie maybe gave you guys some information on the utility conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to reiterate everything. I don't know how much you guys know, but Basically, the utility company would like to see a right-of-way document showing that the county owns that property before they agree to pay.
We don't own any right away. You won't find a deed. They don't exist.
So,
The county has never owned any right away.
okay. So to proceed then, is the county willing to pay for the utility relocation?
Well, I think they encroached on our right away. I think they pay.
But you just said you don't have any right-of-way.
Right away
I'm
is not
confused.
right away is not ownership. Right away is right away. Right away is right to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, and he talked about that. He called me on the phone, and
Jamie?
he was saying, no, Tyler Kilby's the manager of MLGC. What he said
Tyler
was,
Kilby.
so
Never heard of him.
MLGC is the fiber company. That's the line we're impacting
Yep.
in Cooperstown.
Yep.
What he said is that his easement is with the landowner because they own the land, like you just said.
Yep.
And he said, basically in those cases, he doesn't pay to move his utilities, and this is just what he's telling me.
But he's wrong, because if he's in the highway easement, then it's his problem. I mean, I've done a lot of this in my career. That's why we always went 1 foot off the easement. So if we had to relocate, it was the construction company's problem. They're within 75 feet of the center line.
They're at 40 feet, but where does it? What he's asking for is where does it show we have that the county has the 75-foot easement instead of the 33-foot statutory right-of-way that is given to us through Century Code? That's his question. That's why he's balking at just saying, yeah, I'll pay for this.
Right. Well, it's a county road. I don't know. It's through, because we've been there since 100 years ago. You gotta talk to Jamie. I'm not a lawyer.
But that, it does sit in a section line, so by statute, we should have 33 feet on each side of the center line.
Right.
Somewhere there was, we believe, there was a separate easement to give us 75 feet, except we can't produce that easement.
That's right.
Right, was that common practice of the county, and does eminent domain then take effect and give us a 75 feet, or do we have to produce the easement to clarify the 75 feet?
Right.
Now, that was the problem. Some easements we did have were 60 feet, some were 75, some were 55, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or 50. Those ones that probably weren't, some of them weren't recorded, but that's what was written up in the easement. So there's a whole different, not one set
There was no standards.
standard.
Varying degrees of it, I suppose.
You took those three out.
Because they had the 33 feet, the mandatory, and then if they're gonna do some construction work, widening out something, they'd ask for another 42 feet or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, the county roads, they take their 33 feet, but I can't imagine or a township road, I can't imagine any county road being that bad.
But when they first were built, they were just trails, a lot of them. And they had the 33 feet in the center line. So we may just have to go to court or whatever then to try to resolve.
Well, how big a deal is it?
As you say, it was 13.
Cost about $13,000 to relocate that fiber line is what the estimate they gave me.
Then I asked Jake if it's possible to put that in as part of the project. And get reimbursed. I think you talked to,
I asked DOT that question and they said yes, that hospital money could be used.
given the fact that MLGC is extensively throughout Griggs County, you would think that could be a workaround on this thing, just to smooth things for further. I mean, we don't want to draw a line in the sand here, and I don't think they do either. You would think we could work around this somehow and get this done without becoming enemies in this, because it's of no purpose to either party to fight about this too.
No, it's not that big a number either.
No.
So. Talk to Jamie.
One thing, and just so you guys are aware, before we submit final plans, we need to submit, or when we submit final plans, which is February 2nd is when they're due, we need to submit certifications along with those saying all the right of way is there, there's no utility conflicts, or if there are, there have been,
So
we figured out, along with a couple other things. So I'd like to get this figured out soon, because we only have less than a month now before those final plans are due. And if we want to keep it in April bid letting, we got to meet the DOT's deadlines. So I have been talking to Jamie, and I'll talk to him more. But the main reason I wanted to talk to you guys is just to see what your feelings on it were, what you're thinking.
well, what we think really doesn't matter at this point. If the landowner believes that there's only a 40-foot right-of-way there, and we need 75 feet, there's only two ways to do this. The landowner cooperates with us, or you have to take the land away from him, which is a long, drawn-out process.
Or you buy it.
Or you buy it. That's what we mean. The cooperates, and then we buy it.
Right.
But given neither one of those, I mean, if it's not for sale and he doesn't want to sell it, then it's a long process to do this. So can the line stay there where it's at?
And build the project?
Yeah.
It's about a foot away from the bottom of our box culvert. So most likely when they're constructing it, they're gonna break it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we have a state's attorney.
I don't know what the right answer is.
Well, I mean, that's all we can do.
He's the one that's gonna
The first thing
figure it out.
is to go to the landowner and see if they're willing to work with us, with the county.
Yeah, but you can't come in second to an easement. You still have to deal with the utility. Even if you go get an easement, it doesn't circumvent the easement in front of you is gonna take precedent.
No,
anyway.
but if we're gonna move the line, we have to have somewhere to move it to.
They must be just gonna lower it. Are they just gonna bore it and lower it?
They would like to move it, or they don't want it underneath the box culvert.
No, they wanted to move it, so we that's what I mean, we need the 75 feet anyway to move it out, so we have the sitting where it's supposed to be.
Well, and our project impacts out to that 75 feet, so I mean, we have the right-of-way documents ready to go if you guys choose to bring them to the landowner and get them signed. I mean, I can give them to Jamie next week,
Who's the landowner?
May Munson.
Oh,
something Munson, yeah.
Virginia is her real
Yeah.
name.
Yep, that's the name on the plat. And you said she owned both sides of the road. I know we had a question mark on our plat, so we didn't know who owned on the east side. But, okay.
mm-hmm.
She owns the quarter on, well, depending on where Louise's property line is, but I can't imagine it goes to the middle of that creek.
There's a section corner right on the north end of the project. Like right on the north end, just
Yep.
north of that bridge.
Yep.
So if she owns both quarters on
She
south of
owns the
that-
quarter on the east side. She owns both quarters south of that section line.
Okay, then that's all we're impacting is there. And we're only talking half an acre, so
And I mean,
it's not a lot.
you might have to talk to her son. Do you have his phone number, Roger Munson? I mean, she might defer you to him.
That's what township?
Huh? Washburn.
Washburn.
I mean, I can give it to Jamie too. I mean, it might be easier.
What section?
quicker. Section 24 and That'd be 25,
Yeah,
23 and 24.
yeah.
Roger's number is 789-1290.
Yeah, that's just right on the very west edge of the northeast quarter of section 23.
Right, but Munson's must own 3/4 there. They must own the north quarter on the east, on the west side of the road too. Minus that yard where Louise
That's
was.
correct, the southwest quarter of 14, the northeast quarter of 23, and the
There's 3/4 there that
northwest
touch.
quarter of 24.
Yeah.
So talk to Jamie, figure out what he thinks is best, and go with that. And I'm hoping we can get this wrapped up in the next couple weeks, just so we can submit everything and keep it on track. But
Okay. Did Tom get you that Thompson Bridge outlet?
I just from Christy got all the files put on a flash drive. I don't know what they are yet, but I'm assuming everything's on there that we need to.
Well, Tom indicated to me that he got a thumb drive from
They put it on his
Renaissance.
So, how far is that
They put
from,
it
how
on the
far is that
CD
road
then.
from the section line?
The road where our project's at is right on the section line.
Not according to this map, it isn't.
I was thinking it wasn't either, but I mean we found corners out there.
Oh, you went and found pins?
Yeah, I mean to do right away we need.
So it's not on the section line, the 33 feet or 66 feet on the section line might come close to the road.
Where is it? It's
This is the actual
Farther
right
up.
away plat.
There's the plaque.
I know. See, and that's what I was looking at first too. I was thinking we weren't on it, but even Google Earth shows it is. For some reason, the state county map shows that the road is off that section line a little bit. But and like I said, we went out and looked for corners and we found them.
You did find them?
Yep. Found some and calculated some others, and it ends up on the section line just where our project is. Then it goes off.
Well, it
almost
follows the
immediately
river
to
all the
north.
way up to Steele
Yeah,
County,
so
so
it's
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's
back and
wiggling all
forth.
over the place.
Okay, but yeah, I have those files, so we're gonna look through the
See what you got.
project. If it's stuff we can use. I don't know the format yet that we got, so. But I think, yeah, that's all I had. I'll just talk to Jamie and see if we can figure something out, hopefully before the next meeting. I mean, are you guys okay with me and him just working through it? And if he thinks it's best that we buy the right of way and that,
Well, I don't
or
think
the
you're gonna have to,
utility-
you're not gonna have to buy the right of way, I don't think.
but at least get right of way documents signed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think even the last stuff we got in the county, we didn't have to buy it. But as far as the utility paying or the county paying, I'm guessing that's something you guys wanna decide. Maybe?
I'd like, well, I mean, the legality of it, we don't know. So Jamie's gonna have to decide that. If we're on the wrong side of the law, then we're stuck. I don't know what else to do. We need to do it to do it.
Okay.
So, I mean, we want them to know about it before it happens, but
Mhm. Okay, so hopefully at the next meeting, we can,
hopefully they'll negotiate with us.
do you want them to have representation here at the next meeting?
Who's
I
that?
could ask them.
The
MLGC. They have people here, right here in Cooperstown.
Right, oh yeah, I know, but the owner lives in Enderlin.
Yeah.
And is he retired now, Ray? He's not running that place anymore?
I think it was his son-in-law that I talked to that's running everything now.
Oh, okay.
It just seems to me that throughout the county, there's places where MLGC is intruded on easements, and there's places, maybe in this case, where we don't have legal, but it's not worth getting in a big fight, and because ultimately,
We need to
it's just
let-
gonna cost everybody money that way.
Right. Okay, do what you can.
Should be, there should be some leverage on both sides of this thing to make it work out.
You've looked in the Endrin or someplace, we don't have an easement recorded there? Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay, well, I'll just plan on working with Jamie at this point and
Okay,
see what he thinks.
sounds good.
And I'll let DOT know that you guys want to use that funding. So.
Very good.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Jake.
Jake.
See you, Jake.
Okay, we've been talking about road graders and extending the lease possibility of it, on the road graders we have. Met with Troy and Jim Hill and John. And then we're gonna get some numbers and see if they could be extended or whatever, so they have that report for us now.
Well, sir, I'm Derek Aaronstein, I'm the finance manager, so I handle all the financing for both contractors and governmental agencies here in Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. I was the party that was writing the lease when we wrote the last time. So the lease you have today is a regular municipal lease with a required balloon payment with a buyback from RDO. So basically the structure coming up is that in May of 18, the regular annual payment on that municipal lease agreement in the amount of $72,500 and change.
Right.
And then August of this year is a required balloon payment. So one of two things is gonna happen. Either the county makes a balloon payment and owns it, or you say RDO buy it back and RDO makes a payment and we don't. Then we come across the issue of what is motor graders. Say RDO buy it back, well, you need motor graders to maintain the roads.
One question, quick. So if we turn them back at $72,500?
$6,000.
What?
$6,000, I believe.
No, if we turn them back, the price, we pay the $72,500 and turn them back.
Correct. You can use them for another 3 months. The lease doesn't mature
Yep.
until August.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Or the buyout on them is the 72.5 plus 667,000. Is that correct?
There's some interest calculations in there, but if you were to buy it today,
No, I mean at the end of the lease.
end of the lease, you can buy it for the balloon payment, which is the 676
676.
Six
Okay.
78.
or 678. I'm sorry. No, that's the actual
Okay. Even. Close.
number. Correct.
Yep, 678.
That's the balloon.
That's the balloon. So to own the machines is $750,000. $750,500 from this point.
Right.
And those machines will be 5 years old and out of warranty.
Yes. So what are the hours on the machines right now? As of now,
3,000.
I think he was going to get that for me.
The least is 3,400 and the most is 4,500.
And what's in between?
34, 38, 39, and 4,500. This was as of December 19th.
Okay. And they're 6,000 hour machines.
Leases.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then what I was speaking with Troy and Jim about and Eric was, can we extend the lease and what does that look like? It's a required balloon payment, so if we were to write a refinance essentially of the balloon payment, we could do that. The buyback goes away. The buyback was for 5 years, $6,000. So if the county decides that they want to refinance that balloon payment, John Deere Financial would do that. So would your local bank, in all likelihood. But that payment is going to go up significantly from what you're paying today. So if you're paying $72,500, and in addition, you'd be out of warranty,
What's the interest?
3.5%.
That's an annual? Or is it, how is it amortized in the lease?
Compounds monthly.
Huh?
Compound, it's a monthly compound.
Daily, must be.
Never asked him the question.
I mean, most loan software doesn't compound monthly, it compounds daily.
Yep.
And then those machines, if you do that, we would, and you wanted to remain in warranty, we would have to buy additional warranty for those machines. And we can only buy, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 additional years of warranty
Correct.
for those tractors.
Yes.
And that costs approximately $15,000 per machine.
Per year?
Or for 2 years.
2 years?
For the 2 years. So if you take that, you'd have an additional $60,000 if you were to finance the warranty, again, which we could do. You'd have to put that on top of the 676. So your real number, if you want to cover them with warranty, is the 676 plus $60,000.
So 738.
Correct.
Plus the 72 you're gonna pay in May.
And so I went to John Deere and asked them if they would do another balloon payment at the end of 5 years. So, for example, you make a payment, we rewrite it in August in arrears. So you wouldn't have another payment this year. So your next payment on the motor grader would be in 2019.
Right.
And they would put another balloon on it of $110,000 at the end of 5 years. But then the county's running blades for 3 years, $3,000 without warranty. So, you know, and you're gonna have at that point, you have a $6,000 machine now, not quite, but you could have a $12,000 machine in 10 years.
So to keep the machines with a warranty on them for 5 more years, would be $163,000 for the 4 machines. Does that sound correct?
Per year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's without a balloon. If you put the balloon on it, it's closer to 145.
Yeah, and it doesn't make much difference. You're paying interest in the blue, and I mean, it makes no difference here. Okay.
And that compares to the 72,000 and change that you're paying today. So obviously that's a large increase from what's being paid by the county today.
Yeah. So then going through this scenario, we would have, and that warranty, the warranty would be for the 5 years?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. So you go 3 years without warranty on them, as you said.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And theoretically, we would have 9,000 hours, 7,200 hours, 7,600 hours, 7,000 hours, if it holds true to what we're doing here, unless this winter turns out to be a big winter. So, and what does it cost? What if the machines had required rubber on them and we didn't have broken windshields and things like that? What would it be to replace per machine, new machines? Did you figure that?
We did, so, rough numbers, there's some, factors, depending on when you order them and configuration and everything, but we figured roughly in that 145 range.
For a new 5-year lease?
Yep.
And that's a true lease, is how we figured that. So that's not an RDO buyback, it's a true lease, a governmental operating lease with John Deere Financial. So you use it for 5 years, you make the payments, then you have it, the county still has an option, but instead of returning to RDO, it goes to John Deere Financial.
Sure.
So it's a true operating lease.
Right. So is the buyback on the lease figured up front, or is it the end of? Is it figured value at the end of the 5 years?
Stated in the lease contract.
Okay.
We did run the numbers both ways with a buyback.
Mhm.
It was cheaper.
So there's not a lot of difference between the two on an annual basis, really?
Going on a new one, it would be, like if you were to do a buyback going forward on a new set, it was substantially more.
Oh, a buyback one,
Yeah.
but I mean a straight lease.
Yep.
It wouldn't be that way. It's almost a
It
wash.
would be less money to
Right.
lease
Right.
new machines than it would be to purchase what you have.
Right.
And there's
Yeah,
less risk to you doing the new ones, because you're not gonna run the,
Right, you just never have any equity.
Correct, yeah, that's the key thing to remember, that you're never gonna own those machines. Unless the market does something crazy and they happen to be worth.
So is that based on a 3,000 hour lease again?
6,000
Or 6,000 hour?
Correct.
Okay, so, let's just say, for instance, these machines had 6,200 hours on them instead of 3,400. What's the cost to the county if you go over the hours?
I'd have to get that for you, that's stated in the contract, typically, but this isn't an operating lease, so there's no excess hour charges in a balloon payment, because it's a required payment. We can provide that for you in a heartbeat, though. It's a per hour charge on more, if our memory serves, I think it's $60 an hour, but that's a bit of a guess.
You know, my reason for asking that is because it looks like we have more than we need.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lease machines, this isn't your fault,
Yeah.
and then only use half the hours and leave half of them laying on the
I
table.
figured the average, it's only $3,900 per machine that we put on so far for the hours you gave
I
me.
mean, that's foolishness from our end.
If we would have had the same hours and used 3 machines, it would have averaged 5160.
Yeah, the total on the hours right now is 700. So that's 3 machines at
Yep.
6,000 rather
And you
than
still
4.
would have been under the 6,000 hours
Yeah.
with 3 machines.
I think 8 years ago when we first switched into John Deere's, we, based on the hours that were on the Caterpillars,
Yeah.
it was pretty accurate, and we just kind of ran into a few mild winters. So I think there was some cushion there, so.
No, we're not finding fault.
But yeah,
we're just.
But going forward, I guess that's.
But
see what the
I mean, it's
hours
a
and
shame
see
to
if it's risk.
underutilize it and leave that many
Yeah.
hours on
Yeah.
it.
I mean, we just wasted the taxpayers' money doing what we
You
did.
can't, you don't have a crystal ball, you don't know.
Well, I agree.
You don't know what the next
I
5
agree.
years is gonna be. I mean,
They could
if you
all
have
be
5
bad.
years of 97, 98, or 96, 97, that's a lot of difference.
But you know for a fact that if you underutilize it, there's no way to recoup the money. And if you overutilize it, there's a way
We
to
paid the $60
pay
an
for
hour.
that, right?
Well,
yeah.
if you have a real bad winter, you can go rent another one.
No, I know you can't. Not, if everybody's renting them, or they don't have a.
Or you can hire one.
They don't have a
I know
whole
guys
access
around
one.
here that have them, so we could get help if we needed it.
Well,
But I mean,
Steele County had 3 maintainers for several years, and they just got their 4th back. They didn't have enough when it come to the time.
well, the problem we have, setting all that aside, is there was $110,000 allocated for major equipment in 2018. You take the 72.5 off of that, it leaves us about $37,500 in the budget, which doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, and I did discuss, if we did do an operating lease with Deere, they would do that. Typically, operating leases are in advance, so you make the lease payment, then you use the equipment. They would do it in arrears, so your only greater expense this year in fiscal 18 would be the payment that you have coming due in May, and then whatever lease obligations you had going forward would start in 2019 from an annual payment standpoint.
Yeah, but it pushes the principal out you're paying principal on the amount out that full year of delay anyway.
You sure are. Yep.
That's.
Other thing, you take 3 versus 4, you're gonna wear more tires out. Which,
No, you're not.
you sure are. If you're putting that many
You're gonna
hours
have
on
less
3
tires on the
machines
ground.
versus 4 machines, you can't tell me you're gonna wear more rubber off.
Absolutely not.
So you don't wear more on your car when you're standing still than it does when you're driving?
But it's one less vehicle. If you could put
You
the
got
if
6
you
less
could put-
tires on the ground, Wayne, you're gonna
if you could-
put the same amount of wear on the
You drive
tires.
more miles on.
If you could put the pile of rubber that you wear off these machines in over a set amount of hours, it doesn't matter if you have one machine doing 20,000 hours or 4 machines doing 5,000
number-
hours apiece.
same
It'd be
number
the
of
same
wear-out
pile
tires.
of rubber sitting there. So,
And those are all
ballpark, no,
ballpark numbers.
that's fine.
So, I mean,
No,
we're
yeah, that's
all
all
aware
we-
of what we're looking at roughly. So you guys can have some discussion on it.
Yep.
I'm glad we have some options anyway. 'Cause this thing looks pretty ominous when you look at what we're looking at in 2018.
The only thing that there isn't is, what would it cost to get by 1 year? To get into the next budget cycle?
Well, you could write, conceptually, you could write a 1 year
Another
municipal lease with a
buyout,
balloon that's the same amount as the principal amount
right?
conceptually, so you pay the interest portion for that year. But conceptually, that could be done, to push it to 2019, to keep you into those more, now, we'd have to add the warranty if you want to keep the warranty, but conceptually, you can do that.
Right.
Does RDO rent machines? Could we pay the 72.5, send the machines back, and then rent them for a year?
Question for these gentlemen here.
You're probably not gonna like our rental rate versus the lease.
$60 an hour, right?
Well, keep in mind, if we're gonna ask you, we're probably gonna ask Caterpillar too.
So you're talking the full calendar 12-month rental?
Well, till we get to the next budget cycle, that's what we're faced with here. So,
Which it would be,
12 months, I suppose.
no, it would be,
Well, the cycle starts before, but till the actual.
it'd be 3 months, basically. Till you get into the 19.
but, it would actually be longer than that, till you actually set the budget, you really couldn't enter into talks on buying his machines,
Right.
and I'm sure there's more than a 2-month lead time on any of this stuff.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, that is the option, it's buy these back, new ones,
For rent.
rent.
What's your rental rate? We never did get there.
Depending on the term and, talk to Wayne on average hours, we can come up with something. But I mean, on a normal contractor rate for that machine a month, it's, about 12 grand a month
Yeah.
normally?
Plus hours.
No, you get 176 hours per month.
I see.
So that's just our listed rate, I would say Caterpillar and everyone's roughly in the ballpark of
Right.
that.
And that's why these municipal leases are so attractive. I get
Exactly.
that.
Yep. So, I mean, not saying we'd be that high, but, we'd have to purchase the warranty then on them and make sure that we're covered but we could, figure some sort of rate out if we needed to.
Well, that's $68 an hour. That's not so horrible. 12,000 sounds worse than $68 an hour. See, that marketing. Come on.
We're like a lease though. You don't use the hours, we don't give you the money back.
Right. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
And the true rent.
And you think the balloon payment at the end of 2 years from the end of the termination of this lease would be $110,000?
That was the end of 5 additional years.
Five additional years.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that was a number that.
So they had a residual of 55, of 27.5 apiece.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, balloon payment is
Yeah.
a true residual, the idea of the balloon payment.
Yeah.
So you could, if you wanted to run, take the, correct me if I'm wrong, do the 5-year deal and then run them for 2 years till the warranty expires, then you could ask for trades or sell them or, pay them off at that time too.
You could, but then your risk then is the market on mortgage
Yeah.
and what's it gonna bring. Today, I think both Troy and Eric would tell you that, the buyback number that's on your machines, RDO is gonna wash if we're lucky.
Right.
If we're lucky, so I'm painting that really rosy picture, we're gonna probably get a butt whooping.
Well, if that's gonna happen, then sell us to what you get for, or you're gonna get for them.
Well, we're writing a check, so we're into them.
That's an option if you're willing to.
I mean, is that $678,000 negotiable?
Yeah.
Well, you know it is, because you can turn them back in and go call Steffes.
I know. Just want to get it all in the open here.
Absolutely.
So there's no questions like going
I
asked.
mean, we as RDO could take the buyback back and then resell them to you at a negotiated price, which I could come up with too. And then we could, obviously add the warranty and the travel on there,
Right.
and come up with a number for you, so you have that as well.
But what I was getting to is that if you do the same thing, you extend these out, and you want to sell them in 2 years, I wouldn't be overly optimistic you're going to get whole.
Oh, no.
when you sell them in
No,
2
I
years
mean-
down the road. I want to
That's
make sure
right.
we're clear on that.
I mean, these were sold 5 years ago when it was pretty optimistic. Everything was running wide open all over the state. No, I don't think, I wouldn't ever agree to take the risk ourselves, but being you people are at risk, it puts us in a better position. A down market's good for us, bad for you. Or good for the taxpayers, I should say. Nevertheless, there's not money in the budget to do any of these options for 2018.
Right.
Do we have any more planned?
How much risk is there in running these without a warranty? I mean, my tractors are out of warranty, my pickups are out of warranty, everything I own is out of warranty. It doesn't slow me down much. I mean, if we're gonna spend $30,000 a year on
Right.
warranty,
But now
that seems like a lot, to extend it.
Well, so part of that too is, in the original warranty, we had all
Yeah, but
deductibles
it
and
doesn't-
travel included, so you
Okay.
there's no out of pocket, so
Yep.
part of that is included in that as well, so even if you have a minor issue, there's the $200 deductible that, I mean, all that's included, so you're still out of pocket is minimal, so we have some number that we, obviously you pay for that, we just, so
But
it's part of.
I'm just wondering how expensive of insurance that is.
Your transmission goes out, or axle, you're in the 20-30,000 easy. I think on the first set we sold, I think we put 2 transmissions in one machine, and they were spendy. An engine goes is 40 grand.
That's what they, but John Deere engines don't fail that often.
No, they don't. Yeah.
I mean,
It's a big risk.
Yeah. If you can budget your costs and know what they are up front, I mean, I think it's an advantage instead of getting hit with a huge number.
no, well, that's true, but only to a certain extent. I mean, it has value to a point. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Well, we have a little pondering to do.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any questions for us, or?
No, I mean, if you want, we can speak with Wayne if you want us to come up with, what a sale price would be on those. We can have that,
Oh, do a little market analysis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that'd be another thing to know anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, just another, we lost about $136,000 in reserve in the road fund from 16 to 17 in the closeout.
Wes? Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you guys for
Thanks,
coming up.
guys. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Connie. Pledges. I don't think there's pledges in here, is there?
No, they're not.
Oh,
Let those out of the way. If you want to look at those. And then you've got the interest sheet in
See you,
there
Wayne.
somewhere though.
oh, that's on page 22. Yeah, we looked
Okay.
at that earlier.
Okay. You didn't have any questions on that then? I mean, what kind of questions do you have? It is good though, we've taken in 30% already of the.
Yeah, we did notice that.
We noticed that, it's
Yeah,
ahead of
but,
schedule.
and I think part of that is because there's this scare that the farmers aren't gonna be able to deduct the 2018 taxes.
Yeah, it's not a scare.
Yeah, but I mean, it got people in,
Yeah.
so,
Well, if it's over 10,000.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's actually incorrect though, it's residential taxes. If you itemize, you can, in your taxes that are a business expense, you can deduct over $10,000.
Yeah, I know that.
And then I'll just let you know on the copier that I did make we're staying with the same company.
Mhm.
The other company was gonna be $12 a month less, but I had to go through the work of finding out how the buyout prices on this copier we have, which is fine, but not at the busy time when I had no other time to be even negotiating, actually. But so that's why I stayed with what we had. Also, the other machine took up more room on our counter, which wasn't great. But anyway, that's where it stands. And I just delivered the machine a few minutes ago.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to see the pledges? Dale?
Troy's
got
going
them
into
there,
that.
so.
Oh, I looked at citizens. I don't understand this one from Parker.
Well, I'm not gonna understand it anyway. That's what bankers are for, Troy. That's what you're sitting there.
I mean, they don't have all this collateral pledged to us, do they?
I'm thinking that I think I did get pool papers on that we're in a pool for them. So that's why they list all of those.
Parker is in a pool too?
I
Like,
think so.
same as these guys?
Paying forward. I'm not sure, but I believe I did get papers on that.
He owns multiple banks.
What's that?
He owns multiple banks, the Park
Who?
River Bank.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
They merged the First Financial in with First United.
Oh, they did?
It's all First United now. When they bought Chuck out, there's a whole bunch of losses from back in the day, and they could carry those and amortize them into for tax reasons for 5 years. So that's why they held them separately. And then once the 5 years sunset, they got all they could out of that tax advantage.
Sure.
Then they just merged
I
them
wondered why,
together.
when I bought that bank in Binford, why they, so I wrote the check to the company was already out of business.
Oh, yeah.
Not bought the bank building. building.
Right.
And then I think there's a motion you guys need to make that allows me to deposit within the 3 county banks for the year. I don't know, Sam, if you have that on file. It was in last year's, I think it was in last year's minutes.
I remember it, but I don't.
Yeah.
There's 4 banks in the county.
Hmm?
4 banks in the county.
Yeah, sure.
Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm?
So if you want to add the 4th, I'd have to open an account over there and take some money.
I mean,
out
it
of
don't
it.
matter. I'm not gonna advocate because I work there, so it'd be a little bit of a conflict.
Well, then it's up to the other 3.
That's just a reverse perk of your position, Troy.
So as long as I know you're gonna make that motion, I don't.
We need the wording on the motion.
I don't have anything in my minutes from last year.
I remember it.
There is a minutes template or something for January somewhere.
Well, what's the motion we made for Samantha? Isn't it the same one?
No, we gave her permission to pay the
Pay
water bill.
bills, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't we insert?
This one was the treasurer to deposit or whatever, how is the wording? Sorry, I should have had a copy of it with me.
We're still here for a while, you can find it.
Yeah, I can find it. If you want to see it.
Motion by, motion by whoever, seconded by whoever, and carried, to allow the treasurer to deposit county funds with Bank Forward, Citizens Bank, Citizens State Bank, and First Financial.
And that would be
And that would be First United Bank. Yeah.
So moved.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Great, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Connie.
Thanks, Connie.
Derek Hansen.
Have an updated copy for you here.
I do.
Maybe I can give you Mr. Ernest and
Oh, that's it this morning from Connie. That guy's from Balba.
let me just go ahead.
One question. Does this put us in compliance with the state DES rules and regulations?
Yeah,
Fine, good.
and we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So, my name is Derek Hansen. I just wanted an opportunity to address you, hopefully answer questions. I know you are trying to figure out what you're going to be doing with your emergency management position, the DES person. And we just have another alternative that you may want to consider, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. After your budget, I think you approved a certain amount for that position, and so then we just came back and readjusted that because we can pretty much customize it to whatever the county's interested in. Obviously, you get what you pay for, so when you don't want to pay for a Cadillac version, then we have to downsize it just a little bit. So the proposal is similar to last time, but not identical because obviously the hours will be less. A little bit about our company real quick. We are based out of Bismarck, but we work with a lot of counties. We have folks in Grand Forks, Fargo, Minot, and Bismarck. But about 80% of our business is with the rural counties. Not so much the larger, the Grand Forks, Burleys. Once in a while we do things with them, but most of our business is with the rural counties. There's a brochure in there that, in the folder, that shows you the various things that we do, training, exercising, writing plans, all of that type of thing. We also do some response work. We respond for some large Class 1 railroads like Canadian Pacific Railway and things like that. So we have done county work at this type, at this level, and various components for counties with the emergency management piece. So this is nothing new to us. We are currently, for example, we have an agreement with McKenzie County because of all the activity over there. The gal who does the emergency management stuff can't keep up with it on her own. So rather than hire somebody, they contracted with us to come in and help with that position as well. So we could meet all of the basic needs. This does qualify for state requirements, what they need to have in place. You would have access to us 24/7. We have a toll-free number as well that folks could get a hold of us at any time, 24 hours a day. We would be available to help if should there be a response within the county, answering questions, if you need help with burn bans or anything, all of those typical kinds of things that an emergency manager would do locally. However, we can spread your dollar further if we can remain in the office and do a lot of that work from our office locations versus being here. And so that would be a huge part of it, but could certainly come in whenever needed. This wouldn't include any of the larger projects like writing a plan, like a county emergency response plan. It wouldn't include a hazardous materials plan. You already have one of those. Do you know if theirs is current? Does anyone know? So without the HMP, or the hazardous mitigation plan, if you had a major event where FEMA was going to come in and attempt to reimburse, you wouldn't be eligible for that as a county unless your hazard mitigation plan was current. So you'd want to make sure you had that current and in place at all times.
I see that's on the list here. What would be the cost to have that plan written?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, there's probably one. It just needs to be
There is
updated.
one, I think, yeah, because everyone is required to have them. But it may be outdated. It has to be revised every 3 years.
Isn't that what we
And
just
so
did too?
my guess when I looked at yours, I think you may be outdated or coming up to it anyway.
I would say we're 12 years behind.
Yeah, and so there is grant money available for that. So, you can get the grant money to write that full plan. It's 100% funded, no local match required on that. And so you could utilize either us or someone else to come in and prepare that entire hazard mitigation plan for you. Make sure that's up to date and everything. But because of the extensive work in there, that would not be included in this grant. For the few hours a week we'd be able to dedicate to you, that would be far too big of a project.
That'd be something we could deal with in the future.
Yep. And the same thing with your local emergency operation plan, which we call an LEOP. You'd want to keep that current every few years and revise it. There's grant money available for that. Training and exercising that's required, there's grant money available for that. So none of those are included in here because you'd be eligible to apply for grants for each one of those.
Maybe I missed it when I went through here. I know it's been a concern of Wes's and our state's attorney also that we were missing out on a lot of grant opportunities. Do you have the ability to monitor that and let us know what is available to us, or let our emergency operators know what's available to them?
Yeah.
The fire department, the ambulance, the sheriff, the state's attorneys.
Yeah, definitely. In looking at some of the past records for the last couple of years, I think you have missed out on some stuff from what I could see, and so we could help you monitor that. We're not able to actually write them for you because then we wouldn't be eligible to help manage them or do anything, but we can certainly help you with that and feed you the information. And many of them are easy enough that you could pull them together yourself, or I can give you a grant writer. We could work those things out. They're pretty easy to pull together. But for example, there's an AFG grant coming up, Assistance to Firefighter Grant, that's due here in a couple months, and there's equipment and training available for any of your volunteer agencies in the county. So that's just that's probably the soonest one coming available. but there's hazardous materials grants and all kinds of other things. And we would monitor all those and pass them your way to make sure you had an opportunity to get in on them.
Okay, so then I see what the county has to be responsible for. What do you consider a go-to person? Could that be the sheriff? Could that be?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we know Wes a little bit, so like if we needed a document that we were helping you pull a grant together or doing something, we might be able to call him and say, can you go find this in the file and scan it in and send it to us so we can fill out this or do whatever, if he's willing to do that. Or the auditor or whoever, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, just so that we have someone locally that if we're not always here day to day and we need some information, that we'd be able to call someone and they'd be able to just help with that. So.
Okay, then we also pay a 911 coordinator. Do you offer those services also?
We do offer those services, but we probably need to make sure we keep them separate. You certainly wouldn't have enough funding with what you budgeted for right now. But if you wanted
it's a
to,
separate budget item.
Separate budget.
right, that's a separate budget. So,
Right.
we do offer those services. So if that's something you want help with, we can certainly do that. None of that was included on this proposal.
Right, we didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
We do what we do.
And most of us are Norwegian, so we're pretty easy to get along with. Did I mention that too?
Yeah. Chella and the coachman has Kumla every Wednesday. Schedule your visits accordingly. What's the 911 budget under?
C13.
Huh?
C13.
What do they call it?
911.
Yeah. Well, way at the top.
Oh, there's a bunch of other stuff in there. State radio and phone line.
What's that?
Well, 911 salary,
$6,400.
right. Well, plus all that other stuff.
But I mean, you just offer the 911 coordinator services.
Right.
We could certainly do that as well. You know, we have people who can help pull together all of the Bank 5 trunking information, do some classes, teach it, help coordinate. Is the county, they're all P25 compliant though, I think, right? Everything's been purchased for all the agencies. So I think, you probably have all the basics in place. It's a matter of maintaining it and ongoing with it. So. That's certainly something we can do in addition to it. It would just require more hours and dollars, but that wasn't a part of this proposal.
No.
And then, if I may just clarify, in the on page 3 of the proposal, sometimes this brings about questions there. The last paragraph, major response fee schedule. So what that refers to is if you ever had a Northwood tornado come through, or something similar to that, where when that happened to them, of course, the whole county was, at a standstill. And most of the resources and responders that came in were from out of the county. So the people who were helping manage it and do incident command and pulling documents together and working with the state and all that type of thing, certainly, the county was involved, but a lot of those resources came from outside. And so those are things that we can certainly help you with as well. We know which forms to fill out for reimbursement. We can help you set up your county emergency operations center. If you need help staffing or documenting any of that kind of things. When that does happen, that would be the rates. That has nothing to do with the day-to-day stuff that I've presented to you. And this is typically reimbursable. If those kinds of major events are occurring, there's probably going to be either a state or a presidential declaration declared, and so then you'd be reimbursable at that point.
So, Wes, the operations center in here is kind of set up for.
Not set up, but it
supposed to be. Bob didn't get that done,
I see.
but everything's there.
I mean, there's a desk in there,
Oh,
there's a
equipment.
space.
Yeah, just
If he had to send somebody out here to do something, they have a chair to sit in.
Yep, and
The lights
yeah,
work.
computer.
There's a telephone and a,
Yep.
Just be more of a setup thing.
Yeah,
'Cause it's-
radio and stuff isn't set up, but
I
there's
see.
computer and
Okay.
yeah, they'd have a place to work.
We're short on space, I think.
Yeah,
No, that was the plan after DeVito
right.
was able to take over that.
That's-
was
I mean,
to
that
have
was
the
Bob's
DES,
idea, yeah.
Have DES in
Mhm.
that room. There's a desk for work area, and then there's a bigger desk if there was something
Pretty
that
nice.
happened.
That's in that hardened room, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of, there's a big desk in there and all kinds of equipment.
That's what I thought.
So yeah, we could come and help if you had an emergency event going on, a big emergency, not just a vehicle crash or something, but something major in the county. You could activate us, you could have Wes call us, we could come in and help. We can bring one person, we can bring several people, we could help staff that, we could make recommendations to you, because ultimately you're the authority and you have the legal responsibility and it's your money. But this is what we specialize in, so we could make some very strong recommendations to you on how you should proceed with this or what we should put in place, and then it would be your decision on whether you wanted to do that or not.
Right.
So, you might or might not know, we've been a little bit behind the power curve here, and the state DES has been
More than patient.
More
But
than
they were-
patient,
well, we
but
did
they're-
get to
but-
the end of the rope.
When our problem, being the DES director, became their problem, they
Yeah.
kind of got a little short with us. So, do you have a good rapport with the North Dakota DES?
We do, yeah, and if you're referring to Greg Wills, the director.
Regulars, yeah.
Greg and I meet at least monthly. We have an open door policy. So him and I sit down, he tells me what's going on at the state, I tell him what's going on with our programs. And so yes, that works very well for us. So.
Because we're in a position now where it's in limbo. Well, we've been denied funding for this year, I believe.
I thought for 15.
I actually talked to
Can't remember.
Joe Ease yesterday. There's still money available for this year.
I know.
It's
We just have to change it.
17 mean or 18?
I think it's for 18.
We just have to change our delinquent ways.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as we got you up to par and all of your progress reports, everything was ready to go, we should be able to get you in on that, I would think. So.
What's your opinion, Jamie?
I don't have to work with the DES very often. West, I mean, I think it's West and ambulance and fire. I think they're the ones that are going to have to work with them, and I think they're the ones that probably they're the ones that should have the opinion. I think.
Well, they're certainly the ones that have been missing out as far as any help from the DES. I mean, they're not made aware of the grants, which is the biggest thing, I believe.
I think one of the first things we'd want to do is come in and pull all of the agencies in, invite all of fire, EMS, law, healthcare, you guys, whoever, get to meet everyone, introduce us, find out where they're at, and then do a needs assessment and figure out who needs what. Do you need equipment? Do you need training? Are you guys through the ICS FEMA courses? Where are you at? Once we figure all of that out, we can come up with a game plan. The state does require a 3-year training and exercise plan anyway, so that's one of the things we'd have to do. So we'd need to kind of do that baseline assessment of everyone before we could probably move forward on that anyway. So.
You'd be willing then to work with him as far as pulling everybody together, kind of be the
point.
the sub point man.
I mean, he might. What they need, West might not have it, but he'll know who to get them to.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to have somebody in Griggs County that's going to go to the school and get everybody introduced anyway.
Oh, sure.
I don't have a problem with that, and with the exercise that Derek put on for us, I worked with ambulance, fire to make sure everyone was up to date and coordinated everything. So I don't.
So those people have had some exposure to Heartland already.
Yeah, Heartland. They came in for our exercise at the school. Fire, EMS, Binford. We had Barnes County Law there. We had a big hot wash at the end where everyone was exposed to Derek. In the beginning, we do briefing. He wasn't there for the first responders, but at the end, he went through everything and everyone saw him and talked. There was a big discussion. So
Okay.
I think all the first responders will know who he is and his company.
Okay.
And
So-
he did help us out and give us a great deal on doing that exercise. See if there was a grant. Sorry.
So then, just to clarify, the annual fee of the $97.72.57 plus we'll have to provide office supplies and a point man, that will get us back in compliance with the North Dakota DES as long as in addition to the MHMP hazard mitigation plan.
Right, yeah, that would get you the on-call person that they need as a contact 24/7. That would get all the basic programs up and going, documentation, collecting tier 2 reports that come in, that kind of thing. And then those larger programs like the LEOP and the HMP and those bigger things, you're eligible for grants for those. So, because I'm assuming that they didn't say you couldn't have any grants, they just, for this year,
They just didn't
eliminated.
reimburse the county for half of the
Okay.
DES cost.
Yeah.
Well, it even seems years ago we were getting, whether it's the fire department or law enforcement, equipment was available, and I haven't seen that for
Mhm, mhm.
2-3 years probably.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's lots available still out there. They've dwindled a little bit, but plenty of stuff available to still apply for from time to time. We have 25 people with our company, but what we do with this type of situation with a county like this is we have 2 of us that would be assigned to you. There'd be a primary and then a backup person. So for example, if I were that primary person and I were working with Wes or somebody locally, we would be the folks that you'd interact with regularly. And then we'd have a backup person just in case we're ever out of the state or sick or something else came up. So, but you wouldn't be dealing with all 25 people. So it would just be primarily 2 people that you'd get to know, and that would be it. So.
Okay.
So what's your opinion, Wes?
In my opinion, from what I can see and what I've dealt with, they've been a great company, and I don't think that it steers in the wrong way. And they're willing to work with our budgets and give us what we need. I think they also, with the 25 people, they're gonna be able to see all the grants out there and make sure that we have an opportunity to apply for them. I think it would be good. It's what's best for the community, and I think they've already proven that they're good for the community with the exercise that we have done with them. And I don't think it would be a bad thing to get into business with them and have them do our EES.
Jamie, we don't have any other prospects hanging out there?
Well, I did talk with Foster County, Jess Earl and the emergency manager over there. I was actually supposed to go to the commission meeting on Tuesday. They'd switched times from December meetings to the January meetings, so I didn't make it over to the meeting, but they're interested in working with the county too, potentially. I think that we probably should go to the next commission meeting. I think it's sometime in this month. I can get back to you guys on that. But if you guys are interested in that too, they are interested in potentially doing a joint powers agreement. But like I said, I don't really work with the emergency manager. I think, if you guys are looking for input, I think the ambulance or fire department or Wesley, I think would have, that's kind of their bread and butter. That's who they're going to have to work with.
I think the benefit here is the continuity. I mean, if we work with another county, we're at the, does that emergency manager stay in place? And if their emergency manager leaves, our emergency manager
They're in the
leaves.
same
And then we go
position.
through the same old stuff over and over and over again. If we have continuity here, at least we don't have to worry about whether or not we are up to speed and whether or not we're going to stay there, as long as your company stays in business, which I assume it's going to. It seems like the easiest path to go down here.
I can add. One thing I'm concerned about with Foster County is she's already full-time. So if she comes over here for a day, I mean, where is she gonna get those hours from? Is Griggs County gonna take a back seat to Foster?
She's a full-time emergency manager.
she does other stuff. Like
Okay,
manager.
she has other
Oh,
jobs.
so yeah,
I
She
see.
wears other
Three,
hats, yeah.
three duties.
Sure. Well, I agree with John. I think everybody in the state would be better served if this stuff was regionalized.
Well, and actually, when talking to Joe Lee yesterday, actually the state office is in agreement with that, and they would like to see regionalized emergency managers for the purpose of getting someone that's capable of doing the jobs, and they get a big enough.
The problem is
salary
you
so
got
they can do the job.
you got a fifth of a position to fill. It's hard for anybody to get
Right.
good at it. I mean, it's
And that's the opinion of the state too. Like they want to see regionalized offices for that reason, so they can have a good emergency manager and they can get a salary that they can live off of.
right.
And the legislature made inroads in that. They allowed in 17 for there to be regional DES positions.
There you go.
I mean, they did.
Sales
They
hat
changed-
on.
they changed-
Unless you're a Cass or a Burley or something.
Yeah, they changed the law that
Right.
to allow counties to combine.
There's so many similarities in these rural counties that you shouldn't have to have all these plans created all these times.
No,
Well,
It
it's
and,
just
just
and
doesn't
law
make any
enforcement
sense.
works together. I mean, Nelson and Griggs and Steele and Foster, they all work together and react to calls to each other, and,
Right.
and the fire districts cross county lines.
Well, and it's just duplication and all the paperwork. You should just be
That's
able
what
to
I
change
mean.
the name of the county in the top, and yes, maybe the hazardous materials are a little bit different in them, but I mean, the ambulance, everything else is the same, basically. It's just, makes sense. I would like to see the 911 position, what that would cost to roll into this also. If that would be a cost savings to the county also. I don't think it's dependent on the decision whether we hire him as a DES, but it would be just a benefit if we could see what that would cost.
Right.
Sure like to see it.
So what kind of deadline are we faced with here?
Well, I think as long as you guys are actively trying to get it taken care of, I don't think the state can do anything. I mean, you know,
But
but I would say the sooner. I mean, the sooner the better. I think you're better off doing that. As far as getting that grant money, I think is if they can see
Well,
that
that's-
you're cooperating with them.
That is a good point. There are several grants coming in the next few months here, and if you
Mhm.
aren't ready for those and don't have them researched and applied for, then it'd be another whole year before you'd be eligible for those again.
So, and the payment for this, is this one lump sum up front? Is it quarterly? Is it?
No, we would just bill you on a monthly basis if that works
Monthly
for you.
basis, the 95?
Just send an invoice, divide it out over 12 months, and just send an invoice every month if that works for you.
With whatever, if there's additional stuff, there'll
Yeah,
be more stuff.
if there's anything additional, we'd work through a grant, or if we got hit with something unexpected, we'd come back to you and say, can we sit down and negotiate this? How do you want to do it? But the baseline would be always identified in a contract there. So.
Contractually then, is it a year or is it a 30-day dismissal?
30 days. I think either one of us should have, whether you're having issues or we are, I think that either one of us should be able to get out within 30 days easily. And so that's what most of our contracts have in there. But usually the contract is written for annually for a 1 year period at a time, and then reviewed and renewed each year. So.
But what I'm saying is, say 6 months down the road, you didn't like us and you wanted out, would we be responsible for the whole 9,700, or would
No,
we be responsible
no.
for half of it?
Nope, just up to that point. Services provided to that point. So.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we hire Heartland to take over our DES.
Moved by John that we enter into contract with Heartland to provide the DES services for the county. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
So from details, logistical, contractual point of view, who should I work with then on that? Are you
I
going to
think-
Wes?
Wes, I think
Okay,
Wes
all
and
right.
us, right?
No, we're not here, you
We're not,
know,
he's
Okay.
here all the time.
Okay.
we're here 4 hours a month.
I mean, any major decisions about
Yeah.
finance, you'll have to talk with us about,
Sure.
but I think the rest of you should be able to coordinate it,
Sure.
correct, Wes? Yeah, very good.
I just wanted to get the contract initially and all that in place.
Yep.
I'll just give it to him and he can work with you and go from there.
Okay,
Okay.
And our multi-hazard mitigation plan was updated in 2015.
It was.
2015. Okay, so it's coming, yeah, you're gonna have that
That's
to
a
do as
3-year
well.
deal?
Yep, so we'd have to apply right away and try to get funds for that. Because if you let that lapse and you have a major event, you wouldn't be eligible for FEMA reimbursement, so that's kind of a no-no, so.
Well, one of the things that I think was really, that really upset the state office was that there was no LEPC.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we lost.
What's that acronym for?
It's,
Local Emergency Planning Committee. is
yeah,
that what it
it's,
is?
so it's an EPRO requirement from a federal level. And in the proposal that I gave you, we would provide you, the feds or in the state require a minimum of 1 meeting a year. And for a county of this size, I think 1 meeting is adequate. So we'd have to pull that group together, and we would do that for you, working through Wes and the others. Pull that group together once a year, meet those requirements, and then again, remember, once you've met those requirements, there's a little hazmat check that comes from the state for that you'll receive for pulling that group together. And so they get their hands in troubles, for that if they don't,
Yeah.
if they don't have that pulled off in every county. So that would be and we could do that if we're behind on that. We could do that almost immediately within the next few months, try to get that coordinated right away. So.
And that committee just involves the heads of all the ambulance. the
Yeah,
fire.
it'd be representatives from each of the responder groups, someone preferably from the commission or your appointee that you, and then we are supposed to involve a few locals, some generators of chemicals. So I don't know if you have CHS or whoever's here, Cenex, somebody. So we'd pull a few of the privates in that are generators of chemicals, and that would probably be our committee. Then we've met all the requirements. So.
okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
All right. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for coming out.
Make a motion to take a 10-minute break.
Been moved by John, then we take a 10-minute recess. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Dale. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Sheriff Street.
It'll be quick. I had a meeting on Wednesday in Valley City. The jail, which is obviously like 108 years old, had to shut down 10 beds. The state had an inspection. They found lead paint and asbestos, which doesn't surprise me in a 108-year-old building. So they called Dickey, Lemoore, Barnes County, Valley City. I think that was it. One of their commissioners were there, and they want us to go to our commissioners and ask if we wanted to talk to them about doing a regional correction center, building a new building, and all going in and having a board to control that building. And not using the old building. And the reason for
Who's they?
the sheriff's office down there, just them as, it was Lemoore and Barnes were the two big people in the conversation. Lemoore must bring a lot of people there.
I think this was on the drawing board 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
having
and it
regional-
fell through. The reason that I was told that fell through was they were talking about housing federal inmates, and the citizens didn't like that because when you bring federal inmates into a jail like that, that brings their family to that community, and then they tend to stay. And the people, when they get out, they stay, and corrections doesn't really rehabilitate everybody, so.
Really?
Yeah. I try.
And the reason they wanted to do that before, I think of the reimbursement. was a little
Yeah,
higher
to
than-
pay for the building, yeah, so what they, what we had talked about was getting our last 3 years of our jail board, budgets and sending it down to Julie, which is the jail administrator in Barnes, and then they would get all that, but they were wondering if one or two of you guys wanted to come down on February 6th, afternoon, and tour the jail, the old jail, and have a sit-down meeting about it.
How many beds are in there now?
Is it 35?
Yeah, somewhere around 30. They want to do a 30 to 40 bed with holding cells. They don't have holding cells, so if someone's causing issues when they bring them in, they have to throw them in with other people, and they'd like a holding cell where they can put one person. But they were talking about doing pre-made pods, so it'd be cheaper. They just have these pre-made pods, they bring it in and they build a building off of that. And they wanted to build Barnes County, Randy was talking, the sheriff was talking, he wants to do the kitchen and the laundry room right, so if it needed to expand, they can expand. But they just wanted me to come to you and see if you guys were interested. And I told them the only way that we would be interested in doing anything like that is if it was regional corrections. But I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it.
What are our other choices for housing in Jamestown, Hillsborough?
Yeah, that's the problem with if Barnes County isn't our jail. And I don't know if we didn't do this regional corrections, we could probably do a contract with them. It would be a little probably expensive. I don't know, but the problem is Jamestown is always full. And when we call down there, they always say, "Hold on, let me get a sergeant." And once you hear, "Hold on, let me get a sergeant," you know what's coming next. We're full. So then we end up having to go to Cass County, and it's an hour and a half there. Fuel, budget, manpower to get there. It's 3 hours just on taking someone to jail, not just the incident.
Right.
So we have someone out of town, and if we have to cover, overtime goes up, everything, maintenance goes up.
Hillsborough won't do it?
Hillsboro's just as far as Fargo, I would think.
No.
It's in not an hour, and
Hillsboro's straight across from here.
Hillsboro's the same distance as Valley City.
Yeah.
Go through Mayville.
Mm-hmm.
Hillsboro, I think.
It's
Huh?
a long ways.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's from my place then.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is a little further than
Yeah,
Valley
about
City.
63 or something.
If you go around on the highway.
40-something miles to Mayville from here.
But I mean, it's about I think it's 63. We all beats over there all the time back here.
You gotta go all the way to the freeway and then go south.
We'd go right, yeah.
I go straight across when I go there.
But I mean,
Steele County, they'll go there. They don't
I know
have
they do.
women, so they gotta take their women to either Grand Forks or Valley City.
Sure.
it'd be a pretty tough. I mean, we can certainly check into it. I'm not going down to listen to it. I've made my life trying to stay away from jail, so I'm not going to listen to this. But somebody else can, but I'm quite sure that it's going to be more expensive.
I think it'd have to be prorated for us.
Yeah.
Well,
They don't have any idea what the overall project scope
cost
is
or
or anything.
anything, do
They don't have anything.
I see.
They just want
Pretty hard for us to.
They just want to know if we'd be interested in going and listening.
Well, it depends on the dollars.
Right.
I wonder what if they've done any legwork, what these pre-made pod things or what are they? I mean,
I think the number that I heard was like $1 million for the building, but I couldn't.
I
say
think
for
what
sure.
happened before is it was cheaper for us to contract than it was to
Yeah.
participate
Probably.
in the building of it the last go
that would be.
around,
It
so-
would surprise the heck out of me if they could build that for $1 million.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
have it. Yeah, I don't have any clue.
Well, somebody can figure. I mean, it's too premature to even think.
I don't know if
about
we're
it.
interested, Wes.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it? No. Do we have to have something? Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to have something. We have to have something. I mean, it's a necessary evil. I mean, jails cost us, but we have to have them. And I've told my guys and Amber so guy and girl, that we don't take people to jail unless they are a harm to themselves or others, violent, or if we have to, there's laws that say we have to bring this person in jail. But, so we try not
So they
to,
can't
try not to go.
lead paint and asbestos. That
They close down 10 beds for that, yeah.
Well, it's been there forever, what?
There's a new
Is it
state.
exposed or
No,
something now, or-
there's a new state jail administrator, I think,
Oh.
that's been cracking down on a lot of
Fire.
those jails.
I mean, don't eat the paint or the tile off the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it that simple? Or, I mean, you ain't, I mean, it's not
I'm
your,
not a contractor.
that's completely nuts in my opinion, but.
No, that's just what the state did. So they're just trying to think of a plan before the state shuts them down and we're out of the jail.
Right.
I mean, if Valley City's gone, Stutzman and Cass are just going to be more full because of the southern counties are going to have to go to either one of them.
Right.
There's the repairs they can make to make it compliant.
Well, that's
They
what I
don't know if
meant.
they want to put more money into that
Oh.
building. It's 108 years old. They don't like the location anymore. It's right by the high school, and I guess the prisoners, when they're outside, they yell at the students walking by.
So probably needed.
City planning wasn't the best there. And I mean, I can.
Yeah,
I
we-
think
maybe
I
we
could
can
probably-
remodel ours. Space heater.
I could probably go down there on the 6th and listen, but
Are they gonna have an architect there, or what are they gonna do?
just have a discussion about putting the board together, I think. I'm not really sure. It has, there wasn't much at the meeting other than
They're not
your
very organized
commissioner's gonna,
Well, and this is kind of a knee-jerk reaction because it just happened right
Right.
in the last week, so,
yeah, but
But
if they needed.
I mean,
I had heard from Carl a couple months ago about this possibly coming up.
Carl,
The state's attorney down there, was down there handling that case.
but I think we as the county should push back against the state. This is ludicrous. These people don't live there. If you're exposed to lead paint for a weekend, not gonna hurt you.
No, you're 100%.
I mean,
correct.
I really think the county commissioners from the counties that use that facility should push back against state, say, wait a second, somebody put their brain on. Can't we do that?
I don't see why not. I mean,
Don't you think this is stupid?
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking. I don't talk about stupid subjects. It's insane. I mean, I can talk about it all day long. There's no decision to be made.
No, I know, it's just stupid. No,
Yeah.
there is a decision to be made. Tell the state to grow up.
Well, I know.
This is nuts.
What typically takes place is the state will condemn it and then they'll throw money in to fix it.
That's what they're trying to avoid, is putting more money into that building.
Yeah. But I think it's fine if Wes wants to go down and
See what
Sit
they're,
in.
yeah, I don't, it just doesn't seem like they're very far down the trail yet.
No, they're not.
Our usage of the jail probably isn't enough where we can participate.
I have no idea, that's.
that's what
Wes-
happened the last time. It was cheaper to contract than it was to invest in.
I mean, how many,
But I mean,
How many
It
nights a year do you?
depends on, our job's never the same.
No.
I don't have any figures, but when Walk was in there, I mean, that was expensive, and
Sure.
next year we might not have much.
Yep.
But, and our judges typically promise to appear people and kick them out, so they're not there too long. I mean, we have one sitting in jail now that's probably gonna be there for a couple of months or a month, because he can't bond out, like.
well, it varies. I mean, up in Nelson County, I think the jail budget last year, what we spent on jail was $30,000, and this year we had $100,000. And it wasn't really a difference in the approach of how I did things. It was just a difference of bad people that were there. We had 4 car chases that people had guns or were trying to run deputies off the road. and that sort of thing, and it just ended up that each of those people probably spent 150 days in jail before we got their cases done and sent to the court, so it gets expensive in a hurry.
And the laws have changed with the state, and they can not accept prisoners, and then it's the county's burden, which I don't understand fully, but
I
so
don't
that's gonna come down on us too.
I don't get that.
You know, it does make, it's, and you'll hear this from every county. I mean, every county is pissed at this. Actually, after the first of the year this year, a felony case, a C felony case, so something that's actually punishable by up to 5 years in jail and 5 years of probation, the state has actually gotten to the point that they're sentencing people to what's called presumptive probation. So unless there's an aggravating factor in that C felony, or the person has a previous record of felonies, it's gonna be probation, which it's ridiculous for a felony case, but that's what the state pen has talked the legislators into doing because of their budget constraints.
But that's non-violent felonies.
I'm not sure. I think you're probably correct. But it could be someone that steals, when someone breaks into a house, or I mean, it's a non-violent felony. Hey,
It wouldn't be if they broke into my house and I was in there.
But I mean, it's
There
still
wouldn't be any
felony,
jail time
It's
either.
still a felony level crime, and no, I mean, they could just as well just amend the whole criminal code to not make them felonies, because they're not going to be going to jail.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that was aimed at the drug laws.
It is.
I mean, if you look, I don't know North Dakota, but a lot of the other states have 80% of the population is in drug-related offenses that are non-violent, and it doesn't serve any purpose other than cost taxpayers
Right,
dollars.
that's what it is aimed at, is because the state pen thinks that people are sent to the pen for drug crimes, but oftentimes maybe it's a person that's addicted to drugs, and they go do something else because of that addiction. But there's no place else for those individuals to receive treatment in the state either, so it's kind of a catch-22 for us.
Yeah, all depends on the way you look at it. It's society's job to police themselves, and it's taxpayers' job to provide the funds to society. So society gets to determine what's a crime and what isn't a crime by their willingness to pay for the facilities to put the people in, and that's what it's all about. We can't have government telling us what's the taxpayers have to spend to take care of people that maybe the taxpayers don't want taken care of. That's why it has to come down to money.
Right, I understand that, but if you talk to 99% of the victims of crimes, they're going to be upset with that.
If you told the voters of Griggs County, we want to tax you to build a regional correctional center, I would more likely assume they wouldn't go for it. Even if they were faced with that, we'll have to make less arrests, we'll have to put less people in jail. I would almost guarantee they would say do that. Don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what people would say either, because you hear I'm often criticized for not being tough enough on people, but oftentimes it is the money situation, because if we send someone to jail for anything under a year, the county's on the hook for it.
That is the balancing point. That's the way it's always been, always should be. So, I mean, Weston will look at it and see what they say. But as long as we have other options, I don't know what we do.
Wes, if we don't join it, are we prohibited from taking prisoners there, or is it just going to be more expensive?
I can find out if we're not involved, if we can still contract. I would assume that they would still want, because that's where they're going to make their money.
Take them across the county line and turn them loose.
No, I'm not taking that. And then they go down there and do something stupid, and then we get liable.
I'm just kidding.
Nelson County,
for all you people listening.
Nelson County is a member of that Lake Region Jail agreement, and as a member of that agreement, at one point, it was cheaper for Nelson County to house prisoners, but it isn't to that point anymore because they did some really poor budgeting and forecasting up there. So it wasn't at that point, so we're paying the same as anybody else that isn't a member of that situation anymore. And I think it costs the county a million or two up there for that jail.
If the county commissions in the counties that use that jail wanted to push back against that decision, who would we push to? Where would we push? I think that's that's the cheapest thing to do right now. And you're not gonna, if you don't do it, you're never gonna do it, so I mean.
I'm guessing it's someone with the North Dakota Department of Corrections. I don't know who does inspections or if it's
Legislature?
There's some, I think it's a female now that's running, I forgot her name. She's come up in the sheriff's meetings and everything too.
Yeah, no, but somebody hired her, Wes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm guessing the legislator did. Her name's Leanne Birch, who is
Yeah.
the director of the North Dakota Department of Corrections, and I don't know. I would say she's not very well liked by the State's Attorneys Association or the Sheriff's Association because she's.
So we need to get rid of her then.
Well, the first step would be to get a hold of the order that's closed the 10 beds and see who signed that and see what authority they did it under.
Okay.
And that should be easy to do.
It might even.
Can you do that?
I can try to get it. Yeah, or West. Yeah, one of the two of us can. It might even have been a federal inspection.
Well, I mean, we'll find out. Let's see under what authority they closed those 10 beds, and then we can go from there.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we'll try to get that.
I mean, think about it. You don't think the same material exists in the other 20 beds?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, good
I'm
Lord.
sure it does. Like
So
I said, it's
this
100
whole
year old
thing just
building.
seems arbitrary and silly to me.
Yeah, and it might be the same thing we have mold in the courthouse. I mean, it could be just that simple. Here's the reason we want a new jail. So let's just see what it is and then
Okay.
go from there.
Okay, that'd be good. Okay? Yep, thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Travis?
I cut the hole in the ceiling of the server room. Just trying to start forcing air into it and moving out the top there. I propped the door open a little ways, trying to simulate having a grate in the door and stuff like that.
Right.
It's getting like the temperature. I closed the door about a little after 12 noon today. About 12:45, the 84 degree temperature warning went off in there. I'm a little concerned if that's going to be enough airflow, I guess, for that without being a forced system on it, I guess. I want to talk to you guys before I actually cut a hole in the door or the wall that's, can't be, it's more cosmetic than just the hole in the ceiling that can't be seen.
So it's fine with the door open?
Wide open, yeah, and then the fan running. So we're trying to move a lot more air for it and stuff like that, so.
You had just a fan sitting there, you mean?
Yeah, so what I did now to test or to kind of simulate having just a grate in the door, I have the door propped open about 4 inches. And I still have the fan there too, try to blow fit air into it, because we would have a fan there anyways if there was a grate. And it doesn't seem to be enough airflow going off the top there to keep the room cool enough, so, in my opinion, I guess.
So, what would happen if a person put a ceiling fan or a fan in the ceiling?
That's what I was looking at.
that
So when
it would-
we were building the courthouse, an exhaust fan was put in the courtroom. That's not needed.
Okay.
A little IT room in there because the room is just straight up. There's no actual ceiling on it.
You're
And
talking about that little room in the corner?
The little room corner, yeah.
I wondered why there was
With Jeff, the architect, we both asked, or the general manager, why that's needed. They insisted it had to be put in there, but
because there's no ceiling.
there's no ceiling,
and
so
there is a grate in the door.
yeah, and that thing will naturally keep cool in there. There's not much heat. There's a few pieces of equipment in there. I've pondered maybe taking that unit and putting it in there because we own it. It's courthouse. I talked to Kelly if there would be any issues with that. She didn't think so.
So will that door come off and will it fit over there?
You need the graded door.
Graded door. That's a good
But
question.
didn't you
if that
say
door
isn't there a graded over in the other corner room?
Needs to be there.
Oh, it does.
But it's got a graded door and then a fan in the ceiling, and it's a little tiny room that doesn't go to the ceiling.
And there is no ceiling in it. It's false open, but the thing would never run. And if you did,
The
it's
graded door
so
would
bloody
fit on
noisy
the
you
other one. You
can't,
could try
can't hear
it and
anything.
see if
Oh, just to see if it works. Yeah.
they're the same size door.
I don't know that they are. I don't know.
I could check real quick too. Yeah, that would
And
be.
did it have to be on the same
If you
side?
you could do a test.
Yeah, I mean, I having the door propped a little bit. It's not exactly like having a grate in the door, but I try to keep it.
Be a lot the same though.
Yeah, but that was one idea as far as taking that unit, putting in there, or putting that air conditioner like we talked about before in there. I guess so.
Well, if it keeps cool with the door wide open, we don't need air conditioner. And I went and looked at it. The temperature probe, the temperature sensor is sitting right on top of a rack. I mean, it's sitting not far from one of the units. Of course, it's going to get warm right there. I just don't see where that temperature is a problem. I mean, if you move the temperature probe off 5 foot away to sense the room temperature, it would be 70 degrees in there.
It's warmer than 70.
Well,
I assure you that.
I know there needs to be some air movement. I mean, there's no question with the amount of equipment that's in there.
I understand that, but it worked with the door open. It stayed cool enough.
Right. We're just trying to get to have not the door not to be open. So I think if that's what it takes to move that fan, that's fine.
I just move the fan, get an electrician to come
See if
and
it
work it
works.
up, and
Plug it in first and see if it works.
but just it's hardwired fan in there, I guess. So
Put a cord in.
we can put a cord in it for temper, and then get if it works and moves enough air. Schedule one of the electricians to hook it up then. And
I'd say so, wouldn't you? Okay.
we'll do that then.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Tax forfeited property.
So the city called and they took the deeds for the other two properties that the county.
Did you sign them?
Yep, we signed them at
Oh,
that
we
one
signed them
meeting.
one time,
Yep,
okay.
yep. So they've got those and
They're gonna try to market that real estate. Good enough.
yep. So just wanted to let you guys know.
Okay. Thank you. The North Dakota Fire and Tornado is dragging their feet. I haven't heard from them again. I called them back earlier this week and they haven't returned my call. I can't even speculate to what the holdup is.
I've been trying this for years.
Well, I
Trying to
mean,
get
if
them to
they
do
insure other properties that are owned by a
Building authorities.
building authority, then they should have to insure this one, or should be able to insure this one.
That was my argument with them. But I don't know if they're going through their policy holders and I just caused a whole bunch of other people a problem. Or what.
Maybe people got a bunch of termination of insurance letters.
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine. Water board, that stuff is in here. As far as these guys know, and we'll only know when we find out we don't have something, I suppose. But Tom Dahl indicated he thought they had everything.
I don't know how you've done it.
He gave somebody the TBO digital file, and that got given to Jake.
Great. Yep.
So hopefully KLJ can help them guys.
I haven't talked to Tom for 2 weeks.
Mo?
No, Tom
Yee?
Dahl. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Texas now, so he'll be back on Sunday or Monday. We still need another water board member. If anybody has any ideas. County weed officer. Tim's gonna retire after only 1 year or 2.
One, I think.
So, I think we should have Samantha advertise that position. See if anybody.
That's what we did last time, wasn't it?
Yep.
Run an ad.
It has to be advertised for 2 weeks, so.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Maybe Heartline can do it.
Kind of along that same train of thought. Extension was looking for alternative plans that the agent could do within the county system. And we have the ability to, they've already said, cut back on the time that they are a agent. We could use the money that we salary for the weed board to make up, not to make a raise, but just to make up the difference that the state is going to take away from us or burden us with, and give the agent the duties of the weed officer.
Never thought of that, John. Maybe we should put Megan on the agenda for the next meeting. If we do that, would we wouldn't still have to advertise them?
No, and we wouldn't have to do anything as far as increasing her salary. They've already, they're going to increase. They're possibly going to increase our portion of it. But Megan has already stated she's willing to go to 80%. In lieu of going to 80%, let's give her another job, and let's save the taxpayers that $4,100 that we're paying the weed board. That was my idea. It was NDSU's. They were one to send us a proposal.
Right. Okay, we can sure ask her.
So don't advertise right now, right? Wait until you talk to Megan.
Correct.
Okay, sounds great.
DES we already did, right?
Yep. DES, we need to get Bob's phone back. He kept the phone because he was sheriff, but he kept the phone because he was a DES director. And have we got the phone back?
Wes got a bunch of stuff back from him. I'm not sure what happened with the phone.
Phone, laptop, all the rest.
Service
else.
revolver, or not revolver.
I think it's service weapons he got back from him.
He did.
I don't know. I can give Wes a call and find out. I know Bob came in one day, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. I'll shoot Wes a text really quickly.
I just did.
Okay.
And then do we terminate that number then?
I wonder if Wes hadn't already.
Or do we put it on hold, or?
Wes got another phone because Bob said he needed this phone. Should I just have Wes come in here?
Yeah, better.
What a guy.
I just got a text.
Okay, I was just calling you.
So we're talking about Bob's phone.
Yeah. Phone,
Phone,
laptop,
weapons.
Or anything else?
I got the
Keys?
bought his guns. I got keys, laptops, the phone. I think I told one.
I think you told me, but I don't remember.
When Paul left, he took his phone number with him. So what I had Bob do, I asked him if he wanted the phone and the phone number. The phone was, he never upgraded his phone, so it was old and it actually had a crack in it, worthless to us. We would have thrown it anyways. So we did he took over liability of the phone line, and he did do it, so we don't have that line anymore.
Not on our bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he also had a jetpack that I used from home, and I also removed that from our bill.
Oh, a hotspot, you mean?
Yep.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Are we okay with that, Jamie? That number is a published law enforcement number, and now people are going to be calling that number and reaching a private citizen. I think we should have discontinued that line. And because Paul did it, doesn't make it right. We should discontinue Paul's line too then. But people are gonna call 0100 thinking they get the sheriff, and there's no, now Bob is gonna be entitled to some privileged information he probably shouldn't have as a private citizen.
If it's in his name, the cat's out of the bag by now.
Yeah, as far as it being, I don't know if it was ever, I suppose it was word of mouth published, but I don't know if it was ever published.
Yeah, we
Anybody?
don't give out our cell phone numbers. If someone wants to get a hold of us, they call the 2202 number, and that gets forwarded onto our cell phones.
I suppose the number, I don't really know if a person ever, if an entity ever owns a number.
No,
Sure do.
for as long as you pay for it either.
Right.
I don't know. Just a question. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that, because that's all he dealt with was that number. You know, 010002000300, and those were.
Well, I'll do some checking statutorily and procedurally checking and let Wes know, let you know what I find out.
What is your cell phone number, Wes?
1735.
Mm-hmm. But you see, the argument can be made the other way. What does he need that number for?
No, I understand your argument and understand what you're saying. I mean, that's
You know,
traditionally the number that people got a hold of Bob.
So he's telling you one of two things. Either he wants to still be involved on the law enforcement side, or he was using his phone for his personal purposes, and now he wants to maintain those contacts. Either way, we shouldn't be allowing.
He's always
that
used
behavior.
his phone as personal.
Right.
I mean, I use my phone as personal.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it doesn't cost the county any more money. It's unlimited everything. So
I know that, but I mean, just when these numbers were dedicated, and they were to start, they were dedicated to law enforcement. That's why there's 0100200300.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, as far as keeping the phone, that's fine, but I think you should change the number. That was all I had in the DES. We got everything else, the laptop and all the rest of the stuff.
Yep.
Not a big deal then.
Is he still moving back to Hannaford? Who told me that?
I did.
he's got plans for everything.
He told me he was going to build.
Are they going to
build a house in Hannaford? Yeah.
He's also going to build a house in Cooperstown.
No, he was. I believe him.
Thanks, Wes. That was funny. Old courthouse, new courthouse. Future business.
We start to review the policy manual.
I wrote that on my deal. Do we all have policy manuals?
It's the yellow one.
I bet Mark Uranus doesn't have one.
Nope,
Does he?
Probably does not.
Looks like those last revised in
This guy.
September of 11, according to the copy I got.
Okay, you need a new copy.
Samantha, has that guy from the Association of Counties that works on policy manuals ever contacted?
All my important stuff.
No.
Still got that here.
I think I maybe gotten an email or something like that, but
I'm gonna start wearing that.
Well, I'm waiting for the crucial moment where I'd step out of the bat cave and come back in.
Just about. I think mine is at home, but I don't know where it's at. Sometimes my wife gets tired of walking around county stuff and goes to leave home.
I'll have to get updated ones for you guys because you did update a few
Yeah, we
things
did.
last year.
Okay.
So I'll get those for you.
I've moved we adjourned.
Thank you.
Been moved by Dale that we adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 3:42 p.m. Friday, January 5th. The next meeting will be Friday, January 19th at 1 p.m.